Hello and welcome to another episode at Go Beyond Sports with me, Sonali Gupta. And today we have an extremely interesting guest, somebody who makes sports players who they are. With us today is Mr. Heath Matthews. Thank you so much for being with us. Heath began as team physiotherapist for professional rugby, soccer, athletics, and cycling teams in South Africa while based out of Kings Park Sports Medicine Center in Durban from 2003 to 2006. He has also served as Director of Performance for the Middle Champions Trust and has worked with some of the biggest names of Indian sports industry, Sania Mirza and Mahesh Bhupati. He was also the physiotherapist of Indian Olympic squad in 2008 Beijing Olympics. His idea, GeoFit, evolved from a basic rehab software for physiotherapists. So then what really is the correlation between sports and physiotherapy, and how important do you think it is in this context of sports in modern era when we talk about the limits to which a human body can actually push itself?
So if you look at sports and you look at sports performance, and even if you just look at participation, really, the way I look at things is the athlete is at the center, and around the athlete is a big halo. In fact, the latest software that we're about to launch, which is a fully fledged athlete management software, is actually called Halo Fit. And it's around that concept, right? So the athlete is in the middle, and everybody who works with that athlete has a role to play. So the coach has their role, the physio has their role, the nutritionist, the psychologist, the strength and conditioning coach, the parents, the friends, the peer network, the sports body themselves. There's so many different people that have a role to play and influence that particular individual in how they evolve and how much they reach their natural potential as an athlete. So for a physiotherapist, we are it's an overstatement, but we're the fuddy-duddies in that little ecosystem, because we come from a very protectionist mindset. We are trained to diagnose injuries, treat them, rehabilitate them, and then eventually, if we're good physios, we hand them back to the coaches and the trainers in good working order again, right? So we're on one side of the spectrum, looking after injury prevention and rehab and stuff, and then you've got coaches and trainers on the other side of that spectrum, and they're pushing athletes to get the best out of them.
So is this idea then kind of limited when people only talk about and look at physiotherapy only in terms of a post-injury process, rather than actually looking at it pre-injury, where it is more of prevention rather than going to a physiotherapist after you've had an injury? And how important today is then the role of technology in sports physiotherapy? And while you also speak about Geo and Halo, how important have they now become as a part of top high performing athletes and even the kids who are just starting off?
So with what I've been trying to do over the last 8 years is I realized that I could go from one project to the other, train up a set of people, then move on to a new project, right? And that once you move on, there's this lull, there's this lack of continuity in that progression. So the reason for that is the knowledge in that environment. So Halo Fit, GeoFit, Heath Matthews Physio, what they are is knowledge-based platforms. We're just trying to take data from the coach, from the physio, from the strength and conditioning specialist, from the athlete themselves, and aggregate all of that data into one place so we don't lose any information, and then make sure that information is available for all of the various stakeholders at the right time, so that they can then use that information to make informed decisions.
Do you think, in your experience in being around, compared to other countries, the state and development of sports fitness spectrum in India is kind of also moving towards all of this right now? in your experience, how much awareness we also have towards mental exhaustion, and especially in Indian sports culture in general, how much concern or attention are we giving to mental stress during practice or to a tournament, especially when it comes to these grassroots level players who really are going through a lot more. We often relate fitness with weight loss and being skinny. I would like to hear from you, your take in this context of how do you define fitness?